They don't come with horns. They don't come with fire in their eyes. The most dangerous people you will ever meet walk into your life wearing a smile, speaking soft and shaking your hand. They will blend into your day so naturally that you don't notice the shift happening, not until the weight on your chest feels permanent. These are the people I call human demons. Not because of religion, but because of the way they drain you from the inside out. They don't need weapons to destroy you. They use your own mind, your own trust, and your own energy against you. And if you're not careful, they will steal years from your life without ever raising their voice. They hide in plain sight. They laugh with you, stand beside you, sometimes even love you. But over time, your smile feels weaker. Your shoulders feel heavier. Your energy, the fuel that gets you through your day, doesn't last as long as it used to. And you tell yourself you're just tired. You tell yourself it's just life. But deep down, you know something else is taking from you. It's not just stress. It's not just a bad week. It's someone who's learned how to feed on you without you even noticing. This is why I call them human demons, because they have mastered the art of disguise. They know exactly how to hide the damage they're causing. They make you believe you're the problem when in reality, you've been carrying a weight that isn't even yours. And the first sign you're dealing with one of them, they feed on your energy. You'll know it because every time you're around them, you leave feeling lighter in the worst way possible, drained, empty, like someone pulled the plug on your spirit. It's not always because of an argument. In fact, it rarely is. It can be as simple as the way they talk, the way they turn every conversation into something that centers them, the way they slip in subtle criticism that you carry for hours afterward. They can turn a good day into a heavy one without ever raising their voice. What you might not realize is that this isn't just emotional, it's physical. Every time you interact with a toxic person, your body reacts. Your brain releases stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline, designed for emergencies, but here they are firing off in your system during a simple conversation. Over time, that constant drip of stress chemicals wears you down. It messes with your sleep. It fogs your thinking. It makes you more irritable, more anxious, more tired than you should be. The scariest part? Your body will start to normalize it. You'll start thinking that feeling on edge is just who you are now. You'll get so used to operating on low energy that you forget what it feels like to wake up clear-headed and calm. And that's exactly how they keep feeding, by making you believe this drained version of yourself is normal. These people can be anywhere, a coworker, a friend, even family. They don't have to scream or insult you outright to take from you. Some do it with constant neediness, making you the emotional battery they plug into whenever they feel low. Others do it with subtle jabs and backhanded compliments, keeping you second-guessing yourself so they can stay in control. And some do it with silence, withholding warmth or approval until you work harder to earn it. Every one of those tactics takes something from you. A little more energy, a little more self-belief, until you don't even recognize the person you were before you met them. And here's what you have to understand. Energy is not unlimited. You only have so much of it in a day, and when it's gone, it's gone. Spend too much of it on the wrong people, and you won't have enough left to build your own life, chase your own goals, or even protect your own health. That's why recognizing this first sign is critical. You can't fight what you don't see. Think about the people in your life right now. Who leaves you feeling better after you see them and who leaves you feeling worse? That's not an accident. That's not just different personalities. That's the difference between people who add to your energy and people who take from it. And if you keep letting the takers stay close, they will keep taking until you're running on fumes and wondering why nothing in your life feels right anymore. Human demons thrive on that exhaustion, because when you're tired, you're easier to manipulate. You're less likely to set boundaries. You're more likely to let things slide that you should have confronted months ago. And once they've got you there, running low, second-guessing yourself, blaming your own exhaustion on everything except them, they've got exactly what they came for. Control. This is why the first sign is the most dangerous, because once your energy is gone, everything else becomes harder. thinking clearly, making good decisions, protecting your peace. If you want to spot a human demon before they cause real damage, watch your energy. Pay attention to who leaves you feeling stronger and who leaves you feeling weaker. Your body will tell you the truth long before your mind is willing to admit it. And the moment you notice someone feeding on your energy, you have a choice. Keep giving them access or close the door. Because you can recover lost time, you can rebuild confidence, you can even repair relationships. But once your energy is gone, you can't get that day back. And the people who love you, the people who truly care for you, will never take it without giving you something better in return. They don't just take your energy, they take your clarity. Twisting your mind is their art form. A human demon knows how to rewrite reality right in front of you until you're questioning things you saw with your own eyes and felt in your own gut. They plant seeds of doubt, not in the obvious way, but in a slow, calculated drip. One day it's a small comment about how you're too sensitive. Another day it's a laugh when you remember something differently. Before long, you're not sure if you can trust your own memory. That's the trap. When you can't trust your own mind, you have to lean on theirs. They want you dependent on their version of events, their perspective, their truth. And it's not just about winning arguments, it's about control. If they can make you doubt yourself, they can keep you in a place where you don't act without their approval. They can push you to question decisions that would have been obvious before they entered your life. And here's where the real damage comes in. When your mind is under that kind of pressure, your body follows. Confusion and self-doubt aren't just mental. They trigger stress responses in your nervous system, keeping you in a low-grade fight or flight mode all the time. That tension eats away at your focus, your sleep, and even your ability to heal. The truth is, the more your mind is twisted, the more your health will decline. But human demons don't stop there. Once they've got you doubting yourself, they move to the next layer. They sabotage your growth. They'll make you feel like your goals are unrealistic, like your ambitions are foolish. Not because they want to protect you from failure, but because your success threatens their control. Some will disguise it as concern. I just don't want you to get your hopes up. Others will hit you with passive discouragement. That's going to be really hard. Are you sure you're ready for that? And then there are the ones who won't say anything outright, but they'll pull your attention away from what matters with constant distractions, small crises, or emotional guilt trips that keep you too busy managing them to manage your own life. You might think they're just being negative, but this is strategy. Because every step you take forward is a step out of their reach, and they can't risk losing the control they've built over you. The longer you stay stuck, the more they can feed on your time, your focus, and your potential. What makes this so dangerous is how subtle it is. You won't always recognize it in the moment. It's only months later, sometimes years, when you look back and realize you were in the same place, or worse, than when you met them. And all that time, they were quietly keeping you from moving. Think about this. When you share good news with someone, do they push you higher? Or do they pull you back down to where they are? That reaction tells you everything you need to know. Real allies will fuel your progress. Human demons will find a way to dim it. And if you stay around someone who sabotages your growth long enough, you start lowering your own expectations. You start convincing yourself that maybe your dreams were too big, that maybe you're not ready, that maybe you're not enough. But that's not truth. That's their voice living in your head. And the longer it stays, the more it sounds like your own. Here's the hard truth. You can't grow in an environment that's designed to keep you small. And a human demon's influence is like invisible chains. You don't notice how much they've been holding you back until you finally try to move and you feel the pull. Every one of us has weaknesses, fears we don't admit to most people, mistakes we wish we could erase, insecurities that we carry quietly. In the hands of someone who loves you, those vulnerabilities are safe. But in the hands of a human demon, they are weapons. They watch you closely. They remember the little things you let slip in a moment of trust, the fear you admitted late at night, the failure you confessed when you thought they were listening to understand, and they store it away, not to help you, but to use it later. Maybe they bring it up in an argument, not to resolve anything, but to cut you where you're already bleeding. Maybe they use it to keep you in line, reminding you of the time you messed up so you'll hesitate before taking a risk. Or maybe they use it to twist your emotions, dangling comfort when you behave the way they want, withdrawing it when you don't. This isn't accidental, this is calculated. They've learned exactly where your soft spots are, and they press on them whenever they need leverage. And over time, this kind of targeted pressure wears you down, not just emotionally, but physically. Living in that constant state of guardedness drains your nervous system. It's like walking through life with your fists clenched and your shoulders tensed, waiting for the next hit. And then comes the fifth sign, the one that reveals their true nature every time. They disappear when you need them most. When you're thriving, when you're laughing, when you're giving, they're there. But the moment life hits you hard, the moment you actually need their strength, their loyalty, their time, they vanish. They might ghost you outright, or they might give you empty excuses. I've just been so busy. I wish I could help, but... And yet somehow they'll reappear when you've recovered, when you've got something they can take. Again, this is the pattern. This is the truth they can't hide forever. Their connection to you isn't built on care. It's built on consumption. The people who truly belong in your life will lean in when you're struggling. They'll carry some of your weight when you can't. But a human demon will step back and let you collapse. Because your pain doesn't serve them. They want your energy, your resources, your attention, not your brokenness. And if you pay attention, you'll see it. Look at who's standing next to you when you're low. Look at who disappears when there's nothing to gain. That's how you tell the difference between someone who's for you and someone who's only for themselves. There's a price for keeping these people in your life, and it's far higher than you think. You don't just lose time. You don't just lose peace. You lose yourself. Bit by bit, piece by piece, until the person staring back at you in the mirror feels like a stranger. Your body pays the first bill. Constant exposure to toxic energy keeps your stress hormones elevated, and your body is not designed to live in that state forever. Over time, it chips away at your immune system. You get sick more often, you take longer to recover, your sleep gets shallow, your energy never fully recharges. That's not just in your head, that's biology breaking down under pressure. Then your mind starts to follow. When you live surrounded by manipulation, negativity, and hidden sabotage, your thoughts get smaller, your ideas get weaker, your self-belief gets thinner. You stop dreaming big, not because you've lost the desire, but because you've been trained to believe it's pointless. And once your mind stops expanding, your future starts shrinking. And finally, your spirit pays the cost. That spark you used to have, the one that made you laugh louder, move faster, push harder, starts to dim. You stop showing up for yourself the way you used to. You settle for less because you're too tired to fight for more. That's the long game these people play. They don't destroy you in one blow. They drain you slow until you forget you were ever stronger. But here's the truth they never want you to realize. You can take your energy back. You can protect what's yours. And once you learn how, they lose their power over you completely. It starts with boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep everyone out. They're filters to keep the wrong people from getting in too deep. Decide how much access each person in your life really deserves. You don't owe everyone your time. You don't owe everyone your attention. And you sure don't owe everyone your peace. Next, limit the space they occupy in your mind. Toxic people don't just drain you when they're in the room. They drain you when you replay their words over and over after they've left. Stop giving them free rent in your head. When their voice shows up, replace it with your own. Speak life into yourself the same way they tried to speak doubt. Then, rebuild your circle with people who fuel you. You'll know them by the way you feel when they leave. Stronger, lighter, more alive. Surround yourself with people who challenge you without cutting you down, who believe in you without trying to control you. When your environment shifts, your strength multiplies. And finally, remember this: protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's survival. You are no good to yourself, to your dreams, or to the people who truly love you if you let yourself be drained to empty. Because here's the bottom line. You can recover money, you can rebuild a career, you can start over in almost every area of life. But once your energy is gone, you can't buy it back. You have to protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. When you finally break free from someone who's been draining you, there's a silence you're not used to. At first, it feels strange. You're so accustomed to the noise, the subtle digs, the constant tension, the emotional tug of war. That peace almost feels uncomfortable. But give it time, and that quiet will start to feel like oxygen. Rebuilding after the damage isn't just about cutting someone out. It's about repairing the parts of you they touched. Start with your body. Give it rest it hasn't had in years. Eat like your energy matters. Move like your health is your power. When your body feels strong again, your mind has a place to stand. Then work on your mind. Fill it with the kind of words and thoughts that make you expand, not shrink. Read things that make you sharper. Listen to people who've walked through fire and came out stronger. Practice speaking life into yourself daily, because the voice you hear most often in your head needs to be yours, not theirs. Finally, rebuild your spirit. Find the things that make you feel alive again. The laughter that comes from deep in your chest. The moments where you forget about time because you're so locked in on what you love. These are not luxuries, they're fuel. And the more you fill your life with them, the harder it will be for anyone to dim you again. And here's the thing. Once you've rebuilt yourself, you'll see human demons for what they are instantly. You won't have to wonder if someone is toxic. Your body will tell you. Your energy will tell you. You'll feel the shift. And instead of ignoring it, you'll act. That's where your next step comes in. You can't just hear this and do nothing. If you recognized even one of these signs in someone in your life, you need to make a choice today, not tomorrow, not when the timing is better. Now, audit your circle. Look at who's in it and what they're bringing to it. Ask yourself, are they fueling me or are they feeding on me? And if they're feeding on you, you have to cut the line, even if it's hard, even if it's messy. Because nothing is more expensive than keeping the wrong people close. Protect your energy like it's gold. Guard your mind like it's the command center of your life, because it is. And when you see the signs, don't explain them away. Don't wait for things to change. Human demons don't change because you wish it. They change because you leave them with nothing to take. This is your life, your health, your future. And you don't get a second one. So choose today to surround yourself with people who push you forward, not hold you back. Because when you do, you'll find out what you were truly capable of all along.